So now we'll record a video. Say hello, YouTube.
Hello, YouTube.
Hello,
Yay!
YouTube. Where's my cake?
Where's my cake? Cake?
Hiya. Sorry I haven't posted a video recently. It's just not been right. But now that the summer equinox is gone and we start getting darker nights, by the end of the month, at the end of July, we'll have proper astronomical darkness here in the UK, and I can get out and get some more shots. Doesn't mean to say you can't take photos this time of the year, and on the UK Budget Astrophotography Facebook group, people are still coming up with some fantastic images despite the sky conditions and the weather we've had in the UK too. But I've got a new toy. This is the irix 15mm f2.4 Firefly lens, and it's a serious contender to the crown held by the Samyang Rokinon 14mm. This could become astrophotographers' favourite wide-angle lens. It has a slightly wider aperture, but it's still manual focus. It does have electronic contacts in it, so it can report back to your camera the metadata required. So when you open the raw file in Lightroom, you can see everything about the lens settings. It has a really useful function, and that's on the focusing. It has a soft click when you reach infinity, which makes life a lot easier, I have to admit. It also has a focus lock mechanism, so you can rotate that and lock the focus once you've achieved it. So 15mm, that's 15mm on a full frame, of course. If you're using a crop sensor camera, then it's going to be equivalent of something like a 24mm. I took this outside on Sunday, the 30th of June, and I took some test shots at a country lane just down the road from me. So let's give them a look. So this is an image I took in the country lane just down the road from where I live, and it's straight out of the camera. As you can see, there's heavy vignetting, which is only to be expected for such a wide-angle lens. So let's apply the lens corrections and take another look. Okay, lens corrections have been applied, and it's dealt very well with the vignetting. These are the lens corrections that come with Adobe Lightroom. So let's have a look at the stars in the center. Okay, now this image is taken at ISO 3200, and it's a 15-second exposure, and the aperture was f2.8. As we can see here, the stars are slightly bloated and a little bit deformed. So let's have a look in the corners. Okay, so up in the top right hand corner, as we can see, there's coma showing as apparent here, and a small amount of chromatic aberration, but the lens corrections have dealt with anything that would have been apparent quite well. Let's have a look in the other corner, and the condition is the same, so it's fairly even across the field. So let's stop down the aperture. Okay, now this image was taken at ISO 6400, and the aperture is stopped down to f4. So let's have a look at the center of the image. And obviously it's a lot noisier as a higher ISO, but the stars are looking more round, more like pinpoints than squashed blobs. Let's have a look in the corner. And at f4, look, the coma is just apparent here, but nothing too invasive. And that is equal on both sides. So the quality of the image is quite good at f4. and I could have tried it at f3.5 and seen how that goes, but at f4 ISO 6400 it's not too bad at all. One last example, I've taken this at ISO 800, still at f4, and this exposure was for 30 seconds. And if you're not a pixel peeper, it's not a bad image. Of course, once you start looking in close, and you'll start seeing some of the star trailing. And it depends really what you're comfortable with. I'm quite happy and quite comfortable with this star trailing, because when the image is zoomed out and viewed as a whole, it's not that invasive, and it makes for quite a pleasing image with less noise. Well, what do you think? I think this is going to become my new favourite wide-angle lens. How about you? Clear skies. See you again soon.